Welcome to Eastman Park in historic downtown Saco. My name is Catherine Glynn and I'm a local historian. On Memorial Day 1907, the statue monument in the center of the park was dedicated to the memory of the brave men and women who served their country. John Haley, a local veteran of the Civil War, gave a dedication speech. John Haley was instrumental in establishing the creation of the park and the statue, which was unique in its day as it honors the sacrifice of both men and women who served their country in times of war. John Haley also gave Saco another legacy, a journal of his time as a volunteer in the 17th Maine Regiment. From August 1862 to June 1865, he documented his Civil War experiences for posterity. Now, we offer a glimpse into the fascinating chronicles of John Haley with his impressions of the last battle at Gettysburg.
July 3rd, 1863, Gettysburg. No one can describe the scenes of this day. We who were participants were in such a maddening whirl that we can give but little that is intelligible. Babel was perfect order compared to the confusion of these 2 hours of bloody encounter. Then all was still. The carnival of death was done, and we took a breathing spell. This was Lee's third attempt to pierce our lines. July 1st on our right, July 2nd on our left, and today our center. On each of these days, success seemed to perch on the rebel banners at first, but was wrested from them. It is certain that General Lee regards this action as a crisis in the affairs of the Confederacy. He would never have made this charge, putting his best troops into the venture, had he not felt certain of success. His feelings as he saw his troops mowed down must have been quite indescribable. His admirers claim that Lee is very humane. This may be so, but he witnessed the slaughter of his men from the cupola of the seminary, and, from the very first, it must have been plain to him that if any of his men reached the Union line, they could never hold it for an instant. Lee's troops learned the folly of attempting to charge across over a mile of open country against an army quite as large as their own, more or less protected by embankments, stone walls, and boulders, and with a superabundance of artillery. As soon as this charge ended, silence settled over the scene. A painful silence, broken only by the sigh or groan of some poor mangled victim. Where but a few moments before the smoke of battle, the cannon's roar, the rattle of musketry, the groan, the cheer, the prayer, the curse had filled the air, there was now profound stillness, as though the very elements were appalled and stood mute. A fitting climax to this dreadful struggle, the details of which are indeed sickening. "Oh, stay not to recount the tale, 'twas bloody and 'tis past. The fairest cheek might well grow pale to hear it to the last." How many firesides in the North and South are plunged today into deepest sorrow? Just a few short hours, and thousands are torn and mangled, better dead than living. I imagine from my own feelings that every one of these cherished that he would come home all right, or at least alive, and prayed that this might be the last struggle. It was the last for many of them. About dark, our division was sent out on picket in the field in front. It has never been my lot to see and experience such things as on this occasion. The dead lay everywhere, and although not half a day has passed since they died, the stench is so great we can neither eat, drink, nor sleep. Decomposition commences as soon as life is extinct. As we cannot sleep, we pass the time bringing in the wounded and caring for them. The dead are frighteningly smashed, which is not to be wondered at when we consider how they crowded up onto our guns, a mass of humanity, only to be hurled back, an undistinguishable pile of mutilated flesh, rolling and writhing in death. No tongue can depict the carnage, and I cannot make it seem real. Men's heads blown off or split open, horrible gashes cut. Some split from the top of the head to the extremities, as butchers split beef. Some of the rebels are very bitter toward us, although we do all in our power to alleviate their sufferings, even exposing ourselves to danger to do so. One of our officers crawled on his hands and knees to give a wounded rebel a drink, and came near paying for it with his life, when another rebel, near the wounded man, fired at him. It pains me to state that some of our own men taunt these wounded with their lack of success and engage in political arguments, apparently forgetting how incongruous that business is. This custom is by no means monopolized on our side. It is to be deprecated, however, as it is no wise softens the asperities of war and helps keep alive sectional hate. The men who indulge in this kind of lingo soon learn that the characters and sentiments of their opponents haven't changed with their condition, and though the rebels acknowledge our kindness in caring for them, they still claim that they are right in their attempt to destroy this government. Among the wounded is a little flaxen-haired boy from North Carolina who is only 14 years old, giving credence to the report that the Confeds robbed the cradle and the grave. To keep the ranks full, they take old men beyond the military age and young ones who haven't reached it and hustle them to the front.
Thanks to Scott Marcoux of the Eastern Trail Alliance for helping to create this short audio history. To learn more about the John Haley Civil War Journal, go to Dyer Library at 371 Main Street in Saco, immediately northeast of Eastman Park. Thank you for listening.
This production was brought to you by the Saco Bay Center for Civic Engagement.